big poppin'. Money in the bank coming, dropping a deposit. Having it my way, so I got these bitches watching. Steady getting to it, couldn't fit it in my pocket. Flexing everything, baby, tell me big poppin'. Money in the bank coming, dropping a deposit. Having it my way, so I got these bitches watching. Steady getting to it, couldn't fit it in my pocket. Flexing everything, baby, tell me what.
What's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to the bar. It's your favorite goss and doc tender, that girl Henny, and I'm here to give you my scoop and review on 50 Cent's docuseries, The Reckoning. Sean Combs' The Reckoning. Now, this video premiered, or this docuseries, I should say, premiered on Netflix at midnight Pacific time and 3 a.m. here on the East Coast. Now, a lot of people set alarms and got up at 3 a.m. and watched it, or they watched it throughout the day. I myself just finished watching it, and so I came to give y'all my honest review on what it is that I saw. Now, I did not wait for anybody to come into this video because it is just a spur of the moment thing that I decided to do this review. And so I just came live. It was not planned, or else I would have told you guys that I was going to come live on here and I was going to give the review, but it was unplanned. So let me tell you something. First of all, it is a 4-part series that takes you through different series of, or different stages or eras of Diddy's life. Now, when I first heard 50 say that he had this documentary coming, at first I thought it was bogus. I thought he was just trolling us because it hadn't come out yet, right? So as we moved closer into Diddy's court cases, the docuseries hadn't come out. And when it came to its conclusion in July, nothing came out, and we heard nothing else about it, really. Now, it dropped and premiered, which caught a lot of people like, oh shoot, he really did do a docuseries. And let me tell you this. It was very informative. Now, I know a lot of people are going to tell you that there was BS, that there was lies, there was this, there was that in there. But what I'm going to say to you is, after watching this docuseries that I saw, it opened the door to more questions. It opened a gateway into seeing more insider information. There were some people that testified at trial, like you had Capricorn Clark, who was in there, who testified, and then you had Dave, which, oh my God, I have to tell you, Clayton Howard, I have to tell y'all about him because he lied. He got caught in lie. Like, anyway, we're not going to go there. They had childhood friends. They had Kirk Burrows in there. They had Eric Sermon from EPMD there in there. They had a lot of people in there. Who they didn't have in there was Gene Deal, which I was very surprised that they did not reach out to Gene, or maybe Gene just decided not to do it. But I am going to say this in the beginning of this video because a lot of people gave Gene Deal a lot of flack when it came down to this Diddy stuff, okay? Especially being that he was found not guilty. And let me tell y'all something. They spoke to 2 of the jurors, and your girl was on point. And everything that I was telling you guys out here in my live videos, it was being said in the documentary about how things were playing out on the court grounds while things were going on during the court proceedings. Remember, I came and told y'all a lot of things. But they had Roger Bonds in there. And it was just a plethora of people that were in there, and they were speaking. Now, they took us into an insight of what was going on behind the scenes as Diddy was growing up. They put a highlight and a spotlight on his childhood, his mom, Janice, his upbringing, him finding out about his father being unalived, all types of stuff. So let me get some of these. Let me go on Instagram really quickly and let Instagram know that we are live, because Instagram does not know that we're live right now. So some of this information we did hear about, okay, previously. Some information we did not hear about, but we did get a lot of backstory, okay, when it came down to what was going on. Hey, you guys, if you guys are over here on IG, I'm over on YouTube. I'm not going to keep this live up. It is just to let y'all know. Let me put this here. Head. Hold on, guys, on YouTube. Hold on. Head to that girl Henny reviews on YouTube. Okay. There you go. Because I'm not going to stay on IG, but I need to rally the troops because this is just like a last minute live that I decided to do. Moderators, if you are in here and you are in the group chat, please drop the link to the live. I can actually do that. I'll do that while I'm talking to you. But anyway, join the live on YouTube, you guys, because we're not staying over here. Now, they spoke about him doing research and finding out about his father and him going to the funeral when he was a child, his life in Mount Vernon. It was some of the stuff that we heard, but what we did not know was that Janice had already publicly came out and admitted to working at an after hour spot. Not judging her. You know, you got to do what you do to pay, for, you know, your child. When you're a single mom, you got to do what you got to do. If you sell punana, I'm not judging you neither, because them kids got to eat one way or another. And if you showing it, if you working somewhere at a script club or something like that, and that's how you got to get it, baby, get it how you live. No judgments here. Okay. This is a judgment-free zone, baby. So, we also learned that, Janice was very hard on Diddy, and that he used to get severely disciplined, beat, whatever you want to call it, when he was younger, that he did get bullied, and then Janice like made him shake it off, like, I'm not raising no punk, I'm not raising no princess, you better get it together. All right. So as the docuseries went on, it started getting into, of course, the relationship with him and Kim and Misa and all of these different things that were going on. And we're learning that it was a lot of unrighteous stuff that was happening. Okay, can we say that? There's a lot of unrighteousness that was happening. I'm sorry, I was trying to get, okay. I think I've dropped everywhere that I'm going to drop. So now, boom, check it. They start getting into Tupac and Biggie and the unalivings, and people began speaking out about how Diddy had an animosity towards Tupac. That episode 2, very revealing. They had Greg Kading in there, which is the detective that, if you don't know that name or if that name sounds familiar, that's the detective that was handling the unaliving case. And that's the detective who basically was saying that Reggie Wright Jr. had something to do with the unaliving of Tupac. But you also got to hear a recording from Keefe D himself talking about the unaliving of Tupac and their involvement. It was very telling, very chilling. And I'm not going to lie to you, it left me with a sense of, I don't know if he had something to do with it or not, but I wouldn't put it past. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people, as y'all know, whenever I talk about Diddy, my numbers always be low, because it's like my channel is blackballed from talking about him. And I don't give a damn, which is why I didn't really want to come on here and talk about him, because I already know what's going to happen. The video ain't going to get that many views and all of that stuff. But I had to put my 2 cents in on this, because people who are not putting on blinders, not on payroll, who have not been mind screwed, need to speak out more. Okay. No, I would not say that he put out the rumors and stuff that we heard. What I'm going to say is there was a lot more backstory from insiders that was being shared. And I'm inclined to believe the things that they're saying. They even had Little Rod in here, and we read Little Rod's lawsuit. And in Little Rod's lawsuit, he talked about an incident where Diddy's son Justin allegedly shot someone in the bathroom. And, you know, the ambulance and all of that stuff. And even though we read it, it was different to hear him recount it and then actually see the video of the bathroom after and hear him say that nobody knew that guy's real name, They don't know where he went to. Like, they don't know what hospital he went to, if he went to a hospital, whatever. They don't know any of that. All they know is that the ambulance took him and he disappeared. No one even knows where he is to this day, or at least Little Rod doesn't. So when I first heard, because that came in, I believe, episode 3. When you're watching episode 2 and you start hearing all of these details, and even hearing how, Diddy was in the media saying that, Biggie was on this big peace and love tour and he wanted to go to LA. You start hearing about how Big didn't want to go to LA, and how Diddy basically was like pushing him into the lion's den. And shout out to Gene Deal. All right, let me tell you something. Gene Deal kept it all the way funky and real with y'all. I don't know what it's going to take for people to understand that that man was there during that era. He was not there during the Cassie era, but he was there for the Big and Tupac and all of that stuff. And what Gene Deal said to us happened. You heard it in this documentary. It played in. Listen, they had video. They had the 911 call where you can hear Diddy telling them to turn around and take them to Cedars-Sinai and all that. You can hear that there's an operator on the phone. The operator on the phone is trying to talk to them, and you hear all of the chaos and confusion. Okay, Gene Deal did not lie, and I'm going to say shout out to Gene Deal and give him his flowers, because he earned that. He deserves that, because he's never, everything that man has said to us has pretty much been backed up by other people, has pretty much been backed up by documents that have been coming out. Okay, we got to actually see inside footage of what was going on inside of the City College incident. Video footage of people laid out on the floor, people covered with plastic sheets, like unalived, gone, kaput. Okay? And it makes you wonder if there was something, consequences that were given to him back then when that happened, how would that have shaped him as the mogul he became? But there was no consequences. He never was sued that we know of. He never went to court for that. He was never held accountable for that situation. And actually seeing that gym footage, it kind of flashed me back to when I was younger, watching the news and how they used to show us like the bodies and all of that on the news, covered up and all of that, how it wasn't so censored. It was like that, but it was like an oh my God moment to actually see the aftermath of the City College, right? And then the next moment is hearing Keefity take his reaccounting of things. Then you hear somebody who was actually a part of protecting Diddy and them while they were out there in Los Angeles. I'm not going to say what part was set he's from or whatever. I'm not even going to say what flag he flew. All I'm going to say is, if you watch the documentary, you will see for yourself. And he was sitting there, and this is somebody that I've never seen speak out before, that was speaking out and talking about his role and what he played, not in all the unalivings, but just how when Diddy came out there that they rolled with them. You understand? And they were with them that night of the incident where Biggie got unalived. And the information that just rolled out from there, it just mind boggled you, because it makes you think how Diddy, I'm going to say allegedly for the channel, how Diddy made Biggie's family pay for his funeral. How he was saying that it was going to be a big, it was big, so it had to be the biggest funeral ever. But he made that come out of their royalties. There's documentation of that. Not only that, he made sure that paperwork that was signed already, the middle pages where nobody signed on those pages, were changed so that when it came down to getting royalties or anything like that, that it actually favored for Bad Boy more so than the family. So he was stealing royalties and all of this from that. And then come to find out that allegedly from Greg Caden, when he spoke to Valletta Wallace, may she rest in peace, that she was not too favorable about when it came down to Diddy. And we also find out from people who were insiders that him and Big and Diddy were not as close or as cool as it was portrayed to be. And after his funeral, finding out that he made the family pay for that, all of the trickery and foolery that he was doing, I wouldn't think that you were my friend neither. Okay, we also learned in this docuseries that Biggie was supposed to get the cover of Rolling Stone, but did Biggie passed away and Diddy stole the Stone cover from him allegedly because he had his No Way Out video coming. Okay. We also heard from Aubrey O'Day. Okay. Now let me tell you something. Aubrey O'Day gave an account of an incident that she wasn't even aware of herself. She tells a story of how she was reached out to by an attorney because he had a client who was filing a suit, and in the suit they recounted an incident. And in that incident, it involved a drugged Aubrey O'Day being penetrated vaginally and orally. The lady says that she alleges she was there at the time. Aubrey says she was dating Conrad, who worked for Bad Boy. And the woman says she was invited there, right? And she's there with her friends or whatever. She's roaming around trying to find her way to a bathroom. She opens a door and that's what she sees. And she says Aubrey seemed, incapacitated, like inebriated to the point where she was out of it. Aubrey says she was never a drunk. Like she never had that issue before. She doesn't remember the situation happening. And she actually goes into this moment of questioning herself as to whether or not she had been raped. And she talks about being scared to pursue finding out anymore because, number one, she doesn't want to know. Number two, if she feels like this woman is lying, she feels like I can't say nothing because then that's going to ruin the rest of the case. But I really feel that it's more of she doesn't want to know. Because the woman said that she also went to Conrad and told Conrad what was happening, and he told her to mind her business. And so at the time she did. You also hear from Kalina. Okay. Kalina, if you remember, was a part of Diddy's Dirty Money. She was bandmates with him and Dawn Richard. Now, she was also the one that Diddy was calling multiple times to give a statement to kind of like take down Dawn Richard's claims against him, to discredit her. Now, what's crazy is he had a filmmaker documenting him, right? And you get to hear the conversations and see what he was doing before he actually got arrested by the feds. And he kept saying, God told me to do nothing. God told me to do nothing. But Justin and King and all of them, like everybody around him could do something, but he couldn't do nothing. But what he did do was reached out to Kalina, and Kalina revealed something, right? She's said she's involved in this contentious custody battle, right, for her kids. And so she's saying that she reached out to Diddy because she needed to get more a more powerful lawyer to help her, and she asked Diddy for $5,000, and he told her that he couldn't do it because he was doing something else. Now fast forward to this incident coming out, and boom, all of a sudden he needs her help. Now, she doesn't disclose whether or not they came with a quid pro quo. And, if you do this for me, I'll do this for you type of situation. Don't know. Don't even want to really like say that that's what happened. But Kalina ended up doing the statement for him. And she broke down crying, saying, I don't want anybody to think that I'm being this champion for Diddy. But, I'm in a bad situation. So to me, it sounded like she was insinuating that she was in a bad way and he helped her some way, somehow. That's how I took it. I'm not saying that that's what it was, but that's how I took it. Okay. Then you get to Clayton Howard, Dave. This dude changed his tone so much. Okay. Now, when he was on YouTube and he was giving these interviews to Cam Capone and Vlad TV, and he was talking about what was going on and trying to be the people's champion, because it's more popular to err on the side of being on Diddy's side than it is to speak the actual truth about things. We're going to get to that in a minute too. His story was one way where he was talking about how how Cassie was complacent, and how Cassie would be in charge and Cassie would take charge of things and all of that. But when he spoke in this documentary, he put all of the blame on 50. I mean, not on 50. I'm sorry. He put all of the blame on Diddy. He put all the blame on Diddy. Maurice Brownback, go over there with your kind, okay? Because you're brainwashed, and I don't like brainwashed program people. You could glizzy gobble elsewhere. Thank you. If you're being disrespectful to me, if you're not being disrespectful to me, then I take back what I said. But your comment right now is really like coming off like you're trying to come for me or you're trying to be smart over here. And I've had enough of y'all when it came down to dealing with that Diddy trial because y'all didn't want to hear the real. Y'all just wanted to hear the fluff and y'all wanted to be team puff and all of that, not team truth, not team justice. Y'all just want to be, on that side. And that's fine. That's your right. And I have my right too. So maybe this ain't the video for you, baby. Maybe you should come back when I'm talking about something else. How about that? Anyway, so he also said that Cassie was not so complacent. Cassie was a victim. What did you say? Hold on. Let me pull my comments up. I'm not coming for you for the fake witness on the documentary. Oh, I'm sorry. That's why I said if you're not coming for me, then I apologize. Because your comment was like, I don't know. And then I'm like, I know that name. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if you coming for me. Maybe this ain't the video for you. Maybe you should come back again. So I apologize. I could be wrong sometimes. Listen, when I talk about Diddy, my guards go up. So I apologize. Apologize. I can admit when I'm wrong, and I was wrong for that. So Maurice, I hope you accept my apology for saying that to you. But for anybody that's thinking about coming for me, that goes for you. Anywho, so back to what I was saying. So Clayton Howard, he basically changed his story up because now he's sitting there doing a documentary for 50 Cent, and he lied because he said that there was GHB in the baby oil. And I already told you guys that the FBI already got on the stand and testified. The agent got on the stand and testified that, there was no GHB in the baby oil, that it was just baby oil in the baby oil. Okay. So at the end of the day, you lied, sir, but you've been lying. And I've been telling people that he was a lie. I've been told people that he was a liar and that he was a clout chaser and a clout seeker and all of that. So he just proved that theory right. Now, when it comes down to getting into like all of the jurors and all of that stuff, and I'll probably review this better and more in depth on Twitch, probably tomorrow or something, but I am going to tell you this. The two jurors that they said, do y'all remember Henny Glasses in the chat? If y'all remember, I was telling y'all they did not sequester the jury and that was going to be an issue. Do y'all remember me telling y'all that? Because one of the jurors got up there and testified and actually admitted that she said, I was able to go without the internet. But I know that there were other jurors who were rushing home to get to social media, to get on Instagram. I told you that they were going home and they were watching social media. I told you that. I also told you guys, I broke it all down to y'all. I told you guys, and shout out to Tisa Tells. I don't care who don't like what I just said. Shout out to Tisa Tells for telling the truth, okay? For tattletelling the truth, because I've been telling you guys also that a lot of people were being coerced. Now, in the docuseries, it gets broken down, and I can contest and I can say that there was a lot of janky shit that was going on up there at that federal courthouse. It was a lot of janky shit that was going on. Not going to hold you. Okay. You did have the PR that was out there, the PR agent that was out there. You had other people of the team that was out there working, and they were working the bloggers and content creators, and they were, because during the trial I was being sent some transcripts, not from Uda, but I had gotten some transcripts from somebody one day. And those transcripts had highlighted portions already on them. I'm trying to see if I could find it because it had initials next to it as well. And what was being said was actually true because the person who sent them to me got them from somebody. and sent them to me. And I'm highlighting my own stuff in there. And then I'm seeing other highlighted things. And I'm like, why is this already highlighted? Who highlighted this? Then I'm watching the documentary and I'm hearing about how there were highlighted portions that they wanted these bloggers to focus in on, to hone in on, which is why you have gotten a lot of one-sided stories where people were not telling you the whole thing. They're only giving you the defense side of it. They're only telling you one side of the testimony. They're only pushing this narrative. Yes, I told you guys that. And that's no offense to nobody else. Get it how you live. But at the same time, you have to remember that this man, he knew. When you watch this documentary, the scene opens up to him on a phone call with his lawyers, telling them that they need to figure this out because they're losing. We're losing. You've got to figure this out. And then he talks about how the people are on TikTok and Instagram. He talks about that. So Diddy knew that if he could get to people who had influence on Instagram and TikTok, they would be able to get pushed. Not only that, in a Cassie video, I saw Leor Grunge. Is that how you say his name? Or Grange? Anyway, Diddy's Jay-Z's mentor. Hold on, I want to make sure I'm saying it right. Uh or is it Cohen? I'm sorry. Lawyer Cohen? Cohen? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I'm about to pull him up. This guy. This guy right here. Lear Cohen. That's his name. That's him. Um, who's over YouTube Music? Lear Cohen is the global head of music for YouTube and Google, overseeing the company's music strategies. Other key factors include, and then they start naming other people, but he is in charge of the music department over here. And if you think that because he's in charge of the music department that he can't hit a button on a channel to make a channel go down, make a channel go up, to shadow ban you, all of that, I'm here to tell you he absolutely can, because it does not make any sense how I could get 200, 300, almost 400 people, 500, 600 people in these lives when I talk about anybody else outside of Diddy or Jay-Z. So you definitely best believe shadow banned on this topic right here already. And it's cool because I'm going to be on my Twitcher tomorrow doing what I do over there. Anywho, he was in a video when Cassie was being introduced to Bad Boy. So it's a lot of connections that are going on here, but definitely blew the whistle on a lot of stuff. Definitely blew the whistle on the fact that the jurors were going home and they were watching social media, that the non-sequestering of the jury was a big mistake by the judge. Sorry, Judge Submarinian, but you made a big mistake by not sequestering that jury. It was a high-profile case with a high-profile celebrity, and they should have been sequestered to make sure that they were not being influenced by anything on social media. One of the jurors said he doesn't know anything about Diddy, that he didn't listen to that music or any of that, so he had no idea who he was. But that does not mean that when he went home that he did not look to see who Diddy was and what the people were saying. And because the pro Diddy narratives were the ones that were taking off, because people were seeing it, because these people were all of a sudden gaining all of this momentum, right? They're getting all of this momentum. They're shooting up out of nowhere on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram. They're just shooting up out of nowhere. And every time they talk about this topic, their numbers go do 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 do. And when they talk about other stuff, it goes do 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 do. Not here, but here. Oh, they talk about the do 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 do. Coincidence? I think not. This docuseries, if you open your mind and you actually watch it, it's different when you're watching him in motion, orchestrate plays. It's different when you're watching him in motion, where you're hearing him say certain things out of his own mouth. Oh, let me just say this. In trial, it was never said that 50 Cent, Diddy took 50's baby mama. What was said, and I can pull it up to show you, what was said was that she informed Diddy on their first night that her baby daddy is one of his biggest rivals. Not her boyfriend, not her man, her baby daddy. So 50, I have to say, the way that it was laid out, it was very structured. It was very palatable. Um, it was very informative for those who are seeking information. I always have felt like they never really wanted Diddy. This was supposed to be a wake-up call for him, and I still feel that way. I do feel a way that people were not courageous enough to come out and speak when a lot of stuff was going down, more specifically about the fact of what was going on during Diddy going to Cali, surrounding the possible involvement of him being involved with what happened with Pac. So now Valletta Wallace and Afeni Shakur have gone to the grave, and they don't know anything about what happened with their son. I also feel like Diddy did not win because Diddy is still in jail. Yeah, you are what I thought you were. Um, Diddy did not win. He's still sitting in jail on a 50-month sentence. So if that's a win, winning is walking out of those doors, those golden doors, like people thought he was going to walk out of those golden doors on bail. He didn't walk out of those golden doors. He went right back into the parking garage, into transportation, and right back to MDC to be transferred into another federal facility. So he did not win. He still lost. He may have beat a RICO, but he still lost in court because he ain't free. So he'll be home soon to be the monster that he has been. Sorry. There's no way. There's no way. And the thing is, you know, when you look back on all of these accusations, you really got to sit and ask yourself, is everybody lying? Everybody can't be lying. Everybody can't be lying. Are some people lying? Yeah, some people are probably lying. I could say that. Some people are capable of lying. Everybody is capable of lying. But everybody can't be lying about a person's character. Now, when I was covering the trial, the main thing that I was focusing on was how they were building the RICO. I was concerned about that because it's like a double-edged sword, because at the end of the day, it's like if they would have gotten away with that, it could affect us as everyday people, right? We could end up walking into a RICO without knowing it. But the Mann Act and the SMEX trafficking was enough. And I don't care who you listen to. I sat in that courtroom every day, except for the first week. I missed the first couple of days, and then I was there, boots on the ground, singing that courtroom. I have 7, 8 notebooks and legal pads combined with notes from me sitting in there. And I don't give a damn what nobody says. I also have the court transcripts still to this day that I have never read because other people have already read them. But I sat in that courtroom and I watched those people testify, and I gave y'all defense. I told y'all when the defense won, when they had a good day. I told y'all when I thought the prosecution did a good job at it, breaking things down. That was what I chose to do when I went to this trial. What I'm also going to say to you is there's a lot of underhanded stuff that has gone on within this trial. Thank you. It's not my birthday yet, but I guess you could say like you're the first person to wish me happy birthday. It's 11/22. It's not my birthday yet. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat, FYSMDTV. Um but yeah, that was how I chose and my strategy when it came down to breaking down the trial. I kept my personal feelings out of it until the trial was over. And then that's when I gave y'all what I thought, how I felt about the situation. But my job was to educate you guys. And even after doing all of that, if you still choose to sit here and be Team Diddy, that's on you. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to come over here and try to discredit me or make it seem like I don't know what I'm talking about, because I watched those people testify. I listened to everything. I understood what was being placed in front of me. I understood the responsibility of this case. I understood all of that. I also understood that his case was going to set a precedent for case law because it can always be referred back to, just like they referred to R. Kelly's case. But when you get down to the nitty gritty of everything, even one of the jurors, when she said the verdict, when they sat back and did their count and it came back, she was like, oh shit. Yeah, you're damn right. Oh shit, because there's no way. And if you have common sense on any of this stuff, when you break down what the Mann Act is, and you break down what sex trafficking is, it's damn near the same thing. So how? Because they just didn't want to give him the RICO, which is fine. They didn't want to give him the RICO. I don't advocate for any black man to be locked up like that unless they've actually committed crimes that warrant extended periods of time. I would have never been like, okay, he should get life. I would have never said that. 5-6 years, yes. Life, no. But I'm also not going to sit here and act like another delusional is in here, y'all. He won sitting behind bars. He won. Jesus Christ. Anyway, where's my snipers at? Somebody snipe, please. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. I'm not going to sit back and ignore all that I heard and saw in that trial. And 50 showed y'all a lot of the court evidence, like the photographs and stuff like that, that were shown at trial as well. So we ain't gonna sit here and be delusional. Let people be delusional on their own, but what you're not gonna do is come in here and come for me. And I'm making that very well known. I'm gonna say what the fuck I want to because it's my goddamn channel. If you don't like it, get the fuck out. That goes for y'all on the replay and anybody in my bushes too. I don't give a damn about numbers. I do, but I don't when it comes down to speaking on this, because I already know that the button gets hit on my channel because I don't advocate. I speak up and I speak truthfully about what I witnessed and what I heard and what I saw. And I don't let other people sway my judgment. I'm a motherfucking sag, bitch. Get it right. Get it right. Half man, half amazing, bitch. I'm a seeker of truth. Understand that. I'm not a seeker of fluff, and I can't be bought. I can't be swayed. I can't be none of that. I stand on my square, what I think for myself. And I share that with other critical and free thinkers. So when you come over here trying to come for me, or you come trying to discredit me, know what makes me one of the baddest bitches and the most underrated in the game is the fact that I'm a motherfucking sag through and through. I'm a December sag at that. No shade. But I'm a December Sag. I'm built different. I rock different. I move different. This wasn't a contest of favoritism or any of that. This is about truth. Why don't you go watch this documentary for yourself with an open mind and then come back and try to have a conversation with me? But until you can sit back and go toe to toe with me on this conversation, don't come over here trying to rock with me because you can't sit with us when you're not a free thinker. But anyway, overall, I think that this was a great documentary that was put together. I encourage all of you to go watch it. Okay. Even if you got to borrow somebody's login, go watch it. I myself am going to watch it again. And we will be live reviewing tomorrow on the Twitcher. And I'll be playing some clips because that's why I'm going to watch it again so that I can go ahead and I can get my clips together so that I could play for y'all some of the important and pertinent parts that I feel need to be focused in on. So this was just my quick little 1-2 review. As you know, sometimes you will get a long video from me, sometimes you'll get a short one, and this happened to be a short one because I wanted to, give my thoughts on it. Again, I'm saying a huge shout out to Gene Deal. Gene Deal is very much appreciated over here on this channel. And I appreciate him for being the whistleblower and the person who stood on 10 when it came down to telling us what was going on and about everything, because Gene Deal is a real one. Okay? Don't believe me? Go watch the documentary for yourself. He didn't even have to be on the documentary for his words to ring true. The name of the documentary, please, it is The Reckoning. Sean Combs' The Reckoning on Netflix. I was glued to the TV until it was finished. The ending laid me out. Child. You know what? Be more careful. I wasn't even going there. Yes, sanitize your hands. Okay, before I go, let me just say this. There was a part in there, and it was a clip that went around too, but there was a part in there where Diddy was out and about and he's shaking hands and hugging people and all this other stuff. And he's like, give me the hand sanitizer. I've been out amongst the people. You got to act like you know what's going on out here. And I need to go home and take a scalding hot shower and then put peroxide in the bathtub. And is that what you think about common people? Anyway, that's going to do it for this quick little review. We'll do a real in-depth one tomorrow, possibly, because I'm going to enjoy my day and I don't have nothing to do. So then there's that. Anyway, I love y'all. When y'all rest well. Thank y'all for being here with this spill that I gave y'all and rocking out with your girl. It's been real, everybody.